Poetically inspiring change. Poetically inspiring change for life, joy, peace in your body.
Hey y'all, Angela Braxton Johnson here with Poetically Inspiring Change, and thank you so much for joining me on my podcast, also called Poetically Inspiring Change. And it's April 4th. I'm actually, for the first time since I started podcasting, this is season 1, episode 8. So on this 8th episode, I'm actually recording it on the same day I'm launching it. Today is April 4th. It is Maya Angelou's birthday. So in honor of Maya Angelou, one of my favorite poetess, and in honor of National Poetry Month, that's what I'm dedicating my this podcast to. So it's my first time doing this. Usually I record in advance and take a lot of time to do editing. I'm not going to do that this time. So y'all going to get more of like a rough cut, something fresh. So I am a Black, fat, oldish, disabled sister poet using poetry, faith, and my stories for Black joy, intersectional healing, and diet culture recovery. So I also am a coach, and I'm a certified body trust provider. And that means as far as a coach, I do all the coaching. Like I can work with people. I do work with people as a life coach. And also I'm a small business coach. Most of the people I coach are childcare providers, but as far as small businesses are concerned, because that's where I have a lot of experience in, but I also know a lot about small businesses, and I work for a nonprofit as well, doing that. So I really enjoy that work. And as a body trust provider, I serve people who are in the process of reclaiming their body trust, their natural being in their body, and they're working on healing their relationship with food and with their body, their relationships with their bodies. So I would love to facilitate you through that process if that's something that you need. And if it's something that someone else that needs, someone else who needs that or may want that, please pass along my information. I would appreciate that. Thank you so much. So today, season 1, episode 8, April 4th, 2025, I am going to be, the title of this episode is Age on the Verizon. Maya, Mama, Madea, and Whoopi. So I'm going to start. I'm just going to be sharing poetry for this episode, for the most part. Sharing my words, sharing poetry. So I'd like to start with a poem that I wrote in September, not that long ago, of 2024. And this poem was inspired by, there's a lady in a fellowship that I attend who shared this picture with me. And it's a picture of Rosa Parks, Ruby Bridges, and Kamala Harris. Rosa Parks is, her image is red and she's sitting. Ruby Bridges, the image of her is as a little girl and it's orange. That image is orange. And the image of Kamala Harris is Vice President Kamala Harris, is yellow. Rosa sat so Ruby could walk, so Kamala could run. So here's the poem inspired by those words. Rosa sat so Ruby could walk, so Kamala could run. Our ancestors worked for me and for you, so Harriet could lead, sojourner could truth. So Tony could write, so Maya could recite, so Whoopi and Sunny with their views could ignite. So Oprah could teach, so Angela could act, so HBU Greeks could step, stomp, and dance. So Jesse could campaign to keep hope alive, so justice would come to the Central Park Five. So Rosa could sit, so Ruby could walk, so the Obamas could lead, so Kamala could run. Snap, 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 snap. Okay, that is the first poem. I'm going to share 3 poems today. So the next one, I'm going to go ahead and read the title piece, Age on the Verizon, Maya, Mama, Madea, and Whoopi. I wrote this poem back in 2018, and it really has to do with aging, of course. I mean, that's in the title. And I'll talk more about Verizon and its origins, but it's called Age on the Verizon, a Black oldish woman's vision of self-care. Age gently tapped my shoulder. I shook her off. She caressed my arm. I pulled away. She got under my skin and into my joints. I ignored the prickles and pain. She tickled my senses with aromatherapy, waving a stalk of lavender, spritzed with vanilla and peppermint oil, an invigorating and refreshing scent. Yet quickly thereafter, my nose became clogged with the stench of life. Age turned sound effects on inside my stomach, growling a demand for edible nourishment. Shh, I'm too busy right now. I'll pick something up later. She gently pulled some memories out of my brain. I forgot my to-dos, was sometimes confused, yet I kept going, aimlessly wandering. She seeped into my lungs, urging me to breathe slower, deeper. No, thank you. My body's polite indifference. She danced around my heart, randomly stilling beats, occasionally kicking my aorta like a bass drum. How rude, I thought. She even sent love notes via family, friends, clergy, and healers. How sweet, I acknowledged. I'll have to read those later. She jumped on my bladder like a trampoline. Maybe I should drink less water, I thought. Age got under my scalp, kicking hairs out of my head, like someone kicking covers on feet too hot. Maybe I'll cut my hair or wear a hat. Age is here and on the Verizon, reaching higher into numeric truth. She's been whispering, I love yous. Whispering, I love yous. Begging me to notice her, urging me to take care of this precious temple. She's been blowing up my phone, but I'm not taking her calls. I'm still out here trying to hang out with my youthful facade. Then yesterday I tripped, falling forward into now. Standing up, I noticed the stiffness in my joints. Magically, a huge mirror appeared before me, a beautiful golden 3-way mirror. Tyler Perry's Madea, knowingly laughing, "You better listen to your body, for she knock your ass the hell out," she exclaimed. Her words, not mine. I'ma digress here. to point out to my super sanctified friends that the words ass and hell are in the Bible. Ass around 150 times and hell around 31 times. But back to my story. When I turned to look behind me, there was a life-sized pillar of salt and silence. Puzzled, I turned back to the golden mirror, noticing the frame covered in stones. Up close, I could see each stone was a clock. Looking into the triune glass, I saw three ladies, Mama, Whoopi, and Maya, all three looking back at me. Mama weeping on the left, dressed in beautiful blue. Maya, smiling on the right, wore shades of royal purple. Whoopi, standing in the center, wore white with fabulous red shoes. Her locks extended up and out like stars. She was talking to me, but the glass blocked the sound. I squinted my eyes, trying to read her lips, moving my face closer to the glass. Suddenly, Whoopi reached outside the mirror, slapped me in my face, and said, like the Verizon guy on TV, "Can you hear me now?" Holding my face, I nodded, "Yes." "Good," she said. "Now let's go eat." Putting my eating disorder to rest, I snapped into my senses, feeling, hearing, smelling, tasting, moving more freely, seeing more clearly. "Ah," I said aloud, "this is me, right here, right now." "Of course you're you," said Whoopi. "You're all you were ever supposed to be. Nothing more, nothing less." I embraced myself as Mama and Maya vanished from the mirrors into the Verizon. Whoopi and I sat down at the table and ate tasty food from the chew. We talked about hot topics of the day. Then she smiled and looked right into my eyes and said, "Hey girl, now that you can see, take a little time to enjoy the view." Snap, 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 snap. Okay, I wrote that in September of 2018, almost 7 years ago. Back to the poem. The name Verizon is derived from the Latin word altus, meaning to reach higher, according to the company, Verizon. Created by the merger of Bell Atlantic and GTE, it's a telecommunications company. The name Verizon comes from the Latin word veritas, meaning truth, with the word horizon. It mixed veritas with horizon and they came up with Verizon. And that's according to Google, July 17th, 2002. So as a yogi and accessible yoga teacher, I am learning to listen deeper to my body. Again, this was written in 2018. I hurt myself recently and found myself obliviously re-injuring myself. This poem is a testament of that. I reimagined my body laughing a little bit like Tyler Perry's character Madea laughs, especially when she's teaching someone in one of her plays or movies a lesson. When my body forced me to sit down after hurting my ankle over and over, it was like Madea was saying, "I bet you'll listen now." I think Madea was also laughing because she usually knew what was coming. Perhaps that wake-up slap from Whoopi in the mirror. In my everyday life, I always hear my mother's words, even though she's been deceased for over 14 years, then 21 years now. She's always with me. The year before Mama died, she told me that she was worried that I was going to kill myself from working so hard and so much. Her tears in the mirror were from her sadness of me not taking care of myself. She doesn't want me to join her too soon. My favorite poet is Maya Angelou, and as I was writing this stoetry, I thought about how much her words have inspired me. Her book, I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings, and her poems, Still I Rise, and Phenomenal Woman are some of my favorite pieces of literature. Maya in the mirror is smiling because she knows that I will find my higher truth through my writing. And Whoopi Goldberg, she has always inspired me. I have locks like her. From the time I saw her in the movie The Color Purple, based on another favorite piece of literature, the book by Alice Walker that I read in high school, 2 years before the movie came out, she has inspired me from then until now. Whoopi has always been her own person, not bending to become what others thought she should be. And I really, really admire that about her. And that's how I want to be when I grow up as well. When I see her on TV, she reminds me of my mother, my sister, my aunts, and countless Black women who courageously state their views while being true to who they are. I especially love to watch Whoopi on The View, and since this piece is about deep listening, my vision of the three ladies had to have her as the center. Who else can better help one snap into themselves? As I embrace aging, my goal is to live in a way that reaches for higher truth while also enjoying what I can from everyday life. So that is Age on the Verizon. Voices from Maya, Mama, Madea, and Whoopi. One more piece. I'm not going to read the entire poem of this next piece. Is called Can I? And I wrote this poem in 2021. But I just like to read an excerpt from that poem. Can I rise above my abuse and pain, since I too know why the bird is yet singing in the cage? Why my people have deep feelings of anger and rage, so I bring their frustrations to the spoken word stage, and I say, today is the day that we need to rise. Take off the dark shades of denial and pride. Put off procrastination. Let's open our eyes. See the helplessness and hopelessness that plagues our nation. Let love and empathy lace conversations. Yes, today is the day that we need to rise. Standing against evil forces and compromise. Let's make a plan of action before another Black boy dies. Let's stop posting and tweeting if we won't act or do. Let's let the phenomenal me get with the phenomenal you. Remembering faith, hope, and love, the eternal virtues. Can I be clothed in my right mind without lacing my shoes? Ready to hit the streets as I leave the church pews? Can I impact positive change like Maya Angelou? Can I impact positive change like Maya Angelou? Snap, 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 snap. That's it, y'all. Those are my 3 poems, my words for today. Keeping it short and sweet, short-ish and sweet compared to what I usually share. If you want to hear more of my poetry, you can go to my website, angelabraxtonjohnson.com, and you can go to buy the books. I also have some videos of myself sharing sharing poetry. You can also buy my books. I have a book called Who's Watching Me? That is a stoetry book that talks about abuse, and that's really what I was referencing when I said I too know why the bird is yet singing in the cage. Maya Angelou, if you know about that book, talks about some abuse that she experienced. So I also have a book called Black Fury, Fierce Recovery, available on my website as well. A short book called Abundant Fatness. Both Black Fury, Fierce Recovery, and Abundant Fatness are books. They're poetry collections, but they also have visual art and poems, pictures that were taken by professional photographers Rachel Hadiyashar and Sharon Thomas. So anyway, you can listen to my podcast. There's a podcast page on my website. There's a there's a page about my coaching. So anything you want to know, go to my website, angelabraxtonjohnson.com. You can find me on social media, on Instagram, on TikTok, and Facebook. But I'm not on there a whole lot, y'all. I kind of post and go because I got to get back to my writing. So, and I'm working and, living life. I hope that you enjoyed some of the words that I shared tonight. If I said a word that resonates, I'd love for you to share those words or the lines in the comment section. I'd love for you to, on YouTube, you can subscribe, you can like, and you can also leave a comment. And on Spotify, you can follow, and I know you can follow. And you may be able to leave a comment, but I'm not sure if you can leave comments on Spotify. But please do all the things. Do all the things. If there's anyone that you know that you think my words might encourage, please share it with them as well. So thank you so much again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all. Mwah.
Poetically inspiring change. Poetically inspiring change for life, joy, peace in your body. Poetically inspiring change. Poetically inspiring intersectional healing and recovery.
Yes, honey child. Yes.